on this computer. I'm Kamaile. I'm with Wellness with Mana. I have been a Hawaiian health practitioner for, gosh, almost at least 18 years, going on closer to 20 years. I've been practicing either some sort of form of lomi lomi, either in practicing or teaching. I have definitely broadened my horizon in knowledge of understanding la'au lapa'au, which is basically Hawaiian medicinal herbs. I have been able to, really help to coach people into understanding ho'oponopono from, which is really making things right energetically between all things and all peoples. And so that has been my focus for quite some time. And when I realized that at the end of, kind of nearing that end of that journey, I didn't want to be hobbling around a lomi table for the rest of my life, just trying to make ends meet. I stepped into a different role, really tried on the hat of being an entrepreneur and allowing my spirit to grow with my art form that I created, but I soon realized that that too was something that was not sustainable in this lifetime unless I took it overseas, which was definitely not where my heart was in the moment. So short story, long story short, I fast forward, dear friends of mine had come into my life just at the right time that I was literally like this. And I was able to, I went like this when I went to the meeting, but I had my ears open and my heart open, and just even if the door was kind of just small kind peeking in, that's what I ask of you today, is just to open your mind, open your heart just a little bit, listen into the information, because it took me a while to really get to this point. But once I did, and once I understood the power behind what we're going to be talking about today, it really has made a huge difference, not only in my life, but when I'm able to see how it's affected many other lives, just from the small touches that I've made. I can't tell you how fulfilling that is within my heart. So, oh, but Kitty comes in. He says, hi, Kitty cat. Somebody had to come in today. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we're gonna get started. And, and share. Yay. All right, give me one last second here. There it is. And then I'm going to minimize that. So I'm not going to be able to see you. If everybody could make sure that they stay muted. And then I think Susan is definitely going to stay on top of it. But I always like to start off with this quote, and you guys know me. And this is really how I have taken my journey, pretty much all throughout my life, whether I was practicing Hawaiian healing or whether I was just making choices for myself as a young child, with the choices that my mom and dad put in front of me. Let's build wellness rather than treating disease. So I always knew that I was somebody that wanted to stay ahead of my health and well-being. And this is such a huge impact in my life. And I love being able to share this slide with you. So, oops, excuse me, let me, color mine. So I always start with this question because most of the time, as somebody who coaches from, from my perspective, not only from all the things that I've learned along the way within my Hawaiian healing path, but also I'm taking functional nutrition or functional medicine classes right now, and really quite understanding the body and the diet and everything else. I get asked this quite a bit, is our diets and the supplements we take enough? Because when you start to listen into this, or somebody that may have asked you to jump on this call, you're like, well, what is this? I already have this in my cupboard, or I already have that on my counter. I'm already taking this. And so we're really going to dive into the question, is this enough? So antioxidants has been in our vocabulary, obviously, for a really long time. So we can gain those antioxidants, which some of you may not be aware of, but antioxidants help to fight off what is called free radicals. And so free radicals happen on a daily basis, whether that's breathing the air, due to certain pollutions that are in the air, cigarette smoke that might be nearby, too much exercise, too little exercise. Let's see here. Just the fact that we actually eat. What happens is that there are molecules of oxygen that actually get imbalanced or not paired up, and they actually turn into what we know as free radicals, and they try to pair up with a cell. So antioxidants have to help to actually combat the free radical damage that is happening in our cell. And we'll go into that a little bit more in a second here. And so we can gain those from blueberries, from, obviously taking in a lot of our vitamin C's, our kales, our green leafy vegetables. Those are all amazing things. In fact, I typically like to counsel through diet and nutrition, and even if you're supplementing, is I want you to pay attention to your diet. I want you to make sure that we're consuming foods that are, are healthy in protein and amino acids. Even if you're on a vegan diet, you can still get those amino acids from different foods. The foods that are high in antioxidants, cruciferous foods, so your kale, your broccoli, cauliflower, and then definitely that melds into sulfur-rich foods. All of these help to help our bodies to actually produce these antioxidants to fight off that free radical damage. But what happens is that if you look at the slide here, we can put like a ratio to it. If you can imagine one blueberry canceling out one antioxidant, or excuse me, one free radical. So one antioxidant canceling out one free radical. Well, when I came to find out that it was sextillion amount of free radicals that are actually attacking my body and our bodies on regular every single day, we can actually compare this little ratio to a Dixie cup of water being thrown on a huge blazing fire. It's not nearly enough. We cannot consume enough foods. I think like it was something ridiculous, like 11 pounds of blueberries, in a day, or 80 glasses of wine, or 120 oranges. It's like that would be how much you would need to actually consume in order to actually help our bodies out the way that our products I'm going to show you does in an amazing way. So we're going to talk about supplementation, so our food and things that we take to help to increase our daily vitamin increase, to help our body nutritionally, versus activation. And what does activation mean? Well, we're going to approach this through an amazing, amazing science. Dr. McCord back in 2005 actually revealed his pretty much lifelong study of basically figuring out, a theory of aging. And he came to realize that 5 herbs synergistically blended together help activate our body's certain pathways to actually help our immune systems get back to a place of a more youthful state, a more youthful cell, so that it can function better. It can actually perform better in so many different ways. We'll look at some of those ways in just a moment here. But the key word that I'd like to point out here is it's not just these herbs, just randomly all together. It's the way that they're put together synergistically in a certain formulation, and it's almost like a microdosing of that formulation that actually helps to increase our body's ability to make our own antioxidants. So what Dr. Brimhall, who is on our team, and actually on our team of doctors and advisors at LifeVantage, is he says we are no longer supplementing our deficiencies and no longer chasing our tails. We are literally activating our pathways to control the aging and healing process. So that is absolutely amazing. This is a huge statement that I just love sharing. So how are we doing that? We're doing that through what is called biohacking. So if you can imagine this Hawaiian girl, very local, very, I grow my own herbs. I had my kalo patch for a while there before the weeds took over. I got to redo them again. But when I heard this word biohacking, I was adverse. You ask any of the girls on the team, I was like, what is this biohacking? When I came to understand that really what it is that I got the ability to take, I was taking control of the choices that I made to actually change my genetic outcome and change the way that I felt, the way that I ate, you know, the way that I emoted, that I realized I had been basically a biohacker all of my life. I have always strived to make, you know, significant changes within my life that helps me to be a better version of myself. But how we're specifically biohacking with this company is through what is called nutrigenomics. So when we break that word down, we're talking about from nutrients, and then of course how it affects our genetic expression. So the study of nutrients and natural compounds on our genetic expression. I absolutely could go off on epigenetics. Epigenetics basically tells us that 97% of our genetic code, get this, can actually be changed through the choices that we made. So what we're thinking is coming at us genetically, you know, through our DNA. Mom and dad have this ailment, this, you know, coming at us. You know, you have, you know, whatever passed down to you. I mean, we're never going to change the color of your eyes. You're probably not going to have, I'm not going to have blonde hair by the end of all of this, but I can say that I have the ability to actually change my genetic outcome, not only for my generation and me personally, but with the things that I'm instilling and the mana that I'm bringing not only to my body, but to the health of my family by the choices that we make. I'm helping to instill those for future generations. And so epigenetics shows that some of the ways that we can do this is actually through meditation, diet, nutrition, which we're talking about today, environmental factors. And I like to look at, I actually like to point out that environmental factors not only mean our connection with our land and how it serves us, you know, are we eating of the land that actually surrounds us and not, you know, not abroad, but actually surrounds us as, you know, breathing and living the same environment that we are made up of. But how is our home environment supporting us? How is our environment, you know, helping to ho'omana us, like I would say in Hawaiian, which is recharge our body's ability to really react in certain ways that can de-stress. So ways to de-stress, sleep quality is huge in the biohacking community. I mean, and just in health in general, that's going to boost our immune systems immensely. And believe it or not, relationships and community have a huge impact on the way that our the health and even our immune systems work. So absolutely love epigenetics. Definitely take a look at that online. So I love saying this part because I'm so proud to be a part of this company. So proud. You guys don't even know. LifeVantage is the company that I represent with a lot of the people that may have invited you to this call. We're at the forefront of nutrigenomics. We have been for the last 10 years. We have just really paved the way to take all natural substances and compounds, like I said, and nutrients, to bring it together to actually affect our body's ability to really take us hopefully back in time. So that's the end of, you know, the end goal here. So how we do this is basically through our product line. So typically every week I usually kind of go through a little gamut of these, but I'm going to just take every week and highlight one thing that really makes a huge, you know, why I love it. Last week I talked a little bit about our probiotics and prebiotics. I'm always going to address, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is our anti-aging trifecta. But today I really want to hone in on the nootropics and smart energies. So today, when we look at nootropics, and other people, you know, pronounce it a little bit differently, but when you look at that, basically we're taking the technology that I'm about to explain and we're helping to actually support the brain in such a way through these all natural ingredients that help to not only reduce our brain fog, that help to increase our memory through the certain herbs that we use that give us a little jolt of energy and clarity within our day. It really, really helps us out. And a lot of the moms, my partner takes it to work every day and is just like stoked that he has that extra boost of energy without the jitters. So we can share a little bit more about it, and definitely ask the person that invited you to share about our whole product line, because it is amazing how we are taking every aspect of life, even our pet health, to really biohack to change the healthy outcomes of our whole family. I'd like to start off here because what we're doing is we're increasing our health span so that we can increase our lifespan. That is our goal, you know, because we, at the end of the day, as I'll show later, we basically want to live in health and, you know, with healthy outcomes for as long as we can with our families and enjoy that time. So we're going to look at lifestyle. We're going to look at our environment like we talk about, and we're looking at how that really affects our genetic expression, not only for ourselves, but also for those for future generations. So talking about the 3 theories of aging, we're going to go into this today, and this is our Protandim family. This is LifeVantage's Protandim family. We're going to start off with the NRF2 and this is called our Tri-Synergizer. So we're going to talk first off about our flagship product, which is our NRF2 pathway. So I kind of like to show this slide because if you can imagine this little yellow pill, which is represented here in this yellow dot, and it's actually activating the cell signaling pathway. So it's going to talk to that cell, right, through it's actually going to go and ring the doorbell of that cell. It's going to, because the cell actually recognizes it through this pathway, it's going to go in, and the cell lets it in, if you will. It turns on the light switch and tells our bodies to make antioxidants at millions per second. So remember what we talked about earlier, that we're being bombarded by about 6 trillion free radicals every single day. Now we can actually have a fighting chance. So we're no longer supplementing it. And like Dr. Brimhall says, we're no longer going in that back door, if you will, you know, chasing our tails and hoping that our nutrients are going to help us out if we don't eat 11 pounds of blueberries each day. But we're actually activating these pathways to turn on our body's natural ability to actually upregulate and downregulate what our body needs, because it's nutrition. I absolutely love it. So here's the 5 simple ingredients, guys. 4 out of 5 of these were already in my cupboard. Turmeric, milk thistle, green tea. Bacopa was the only one that wasn't in my cupboard, and ashwagandha. I was using all of those to help to try and boost my health. And you know, like I said, I went in with my arms crossed to listen. I said, you can't tell me anything. I've been doing this for quite some time. But the trick is the synergy between the microdosing, and what it does is it increases our glutathione, which is huge. We'll go into that in a second, by 300%. That is absolutely amazing. Our catalates by 54% and our SOD by 30%. But ultimately, what we can say, we don't say that we cure, mitigate, treat. What we can say we do is we love to show that we can actually lower our oxidative stress by 40% within 30 days on average. John Quinones on an ABC Primetime Report, and you can get that from whoever invited you, came in and actually tried to debunk our company and Dr. McCord and his studies. And, you know, because he was saying he could turn back the hands of time through this theory of aging. And he actually, in 2 weeks' time, guys, his blood showed that he went back to that of a baby. He was able to reduce his oxidative stress by 45% with just in 2 weeks. So it was huge. And that's when it really went from being on the shelves where we couldn't handle the infrastructure to sharing the way what we're doing today. I'd like to show this real quickly, that basically, you know, for those that don't understand oxidative stress, what we were talking about earlier is that free radicals. So oxidative stress is an imbalance between the production of free radicals due to the assaults that we were talking about, and the inability of our body to actually neutralize or detoxify those harmful effects. So I like to actually show this because I'm such a visual person. So if you can imagine, here's an apple, here's a normal cell. You can see what happens. And it was interesting because I always say, oh, you leave it on the counter and in a couple of days. Actually, I cut the apple the other day and I was reminded how quickly oxidation actually starts to happen and turn that apple brown. What ends up happening is, of course, you're going to get the decay. What we don't want to happen is this bottom right picture of our cells. We don't want to get to this place where our bodies are so bombarded by the assaults that are being either put into our bodies by our own means or being affected by our environment. We actually, because we know that when we get to a place of the cell breaking down like this, we're either looking at larger diseases such as cancer, when the cell actually divides and splits off, or if the cell actually dies, then we're facing cognitive basically disabilities. So certainly want to keep our mindset as healthy as possible, as well as our body. And this is absolutely mind-blowing when you think about that we can actually probably live a little healthier, you know, and longer, and looking more like these normal cells, just by helping to boost our body's ability to produce free radicals. Excuse me, produce antioxidants that kill off those free radicals. So we know that oxidative stress is related to over 250 illnesses and diseases. You can look it up if you want to pen and paper right about now. PubMed.gov, PUBMED.gov. Take any of these, anything that's really coming at you in what we, you know, think that, you know, might be passed down to us, you know, chronic fatigue syndrome, anxiety, inflammation, gout, rheumatoid arthritis, all of these, we know that when you look it up, there's so many studies in regards to oxidative stress and illnesses and diseases. And we can correlate that these actually prove that these are this is at the root cause. It's caused by oxidative stress. So when we can reduce that, whoo, we got a fighting chance, gang. So I love pointing this out. Business Wire actually just noted the study that was actually on PubMed that shows that our product in particular, Protandim, produces a 300% increase in glutathione, which is an antioxidant and an anti-aging factor. And this is why glutathione is so important. It actually recycles our antioxidants. It controls inflammation, removes heavy metals and free radicals, and basically overall it's supporting that immune system. So this is actually one of the biggest, you know, molecules in our body that actually help to combat that. So again, we're reducing our oxidative stress by 40% within 30 days by activating. And I am so excited to show that. So here we are. Here's some of this institutes that actually did those studies on PubMed.gov. So you can look at big guys, you know, American Heart Association. When Dr. McCord came out with this, you know, it spread like wildfire. And so these organizations spent their own money, and they don't, you know, they actually have to do the study, and then they send it to another set of doctors who have to actually match that study before it's even published. And guess what? We have 31 in total studies that are out there. 26 of those are actually up on PubMed and published, and that's on our flagship product, the NRF2 pathway. That is amazing and unheard of in the quote unquote supplemental world. Even though we're a supplement, we're not a supplement, we're an activator. So next, real quickly, we're going to talk about this next one on the bottom middle here, the NRF1 pathway. So we're going to start to signal that pathway now. And what does that do? Again, all natural products, we're supporting basically our mitochondria. So if any of you that don't know about mitochondria, basically it's the powerhouse of our cells. We would not be alive without them. And gosh, Jade pointed out the other day that it was like trillions of mitochondria, you know, within our body. I can't remember this, the numbers just offhand, but basically when our mitochondria, what they do is they normally reproduce on a regular basis, but when we get older, it's starting from the age of 20, believe it or not, that actually reproduction cycle actually starts to lessen in mana, like I call it, or it starts to lessen in vibration. So we're actually losing kind of that energetic, you know, get up and go, if you will, within our bodies. So we're not able to repair as much. We get a little more foggy, you know, mama wants to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon. So when we can boost that naturally, our mitochondria and our energy production actually goes up, and we're just functioning better. We get, it's noted that we have improved sleep quality, which is huge for cellular repair. It supports our cognitive and brain health, and circulatory and cardiovascular systems. Definitely a product that I am in love with. And then the last being the NAD signaling pathway. So we're going to talk about how NAD is, again, this all natural product here in our LifeVantage family of synergizers. Uh, this is an amazing, so you can see some of the things that it supports here, but basically, guys, oh my gosh, I wish you guys could see me right now. I can't show myself, but basically it can go into the cells. So let's rewind a second. Give me a second. So slow it down. NAD is found normally in our cells, okay? And so what they did was Dr. David Sinclair, he had studied basically another theory of aging, and he wanted to know why we age. And so he started studying intermittent fasting, and he also started studying caloric restriction. And I'm talking like 500 to 800 calories per day for long periods of time. Well, what they noticed is that the NAD production actually increased when that caloric reduction was in place, and started to feed what is now known as the sirtuin, or it came to know as the sirtuin family of basically proteins that help to, they're recognized as like the CEO or the guardian angel of our cells. And there are survival genes. So when our bodies are in survival mode and they're like, okay, 500 to 800 calories for a long period of time, they're like, boop, 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 going to survival mode. And what they do is those sirtuins can go into our cells. How's this? Unravel the DNA strand, fix what is broken, if you will, put it all back together, put it intact, and then clean house on the outside. It's absolutely hands down amazing. So that whole process that I just kind of cliff note explained to you is called autophagy. And so through autophagy and detoxification, we send that cell back to a place, again, where it's kind of rewinding time, if you will. That's how Dr. Sinclair describes it. He actually hopes to live to 120, but live both mentally and physically in a body of a 50, 60-year-old. So I am loving this newest product that we came out with not too long ago. So in summary, basically this is what we do. We aid the body. We're looking at antioxidants. We're boosting our immune system, and we're detoxifying. Those are really big key factors in really helping to kind of, look at that anti-aging ability, to help to boost our bodies. So, because like I said earlier, at the end of the day, we want to ultimately live with love in our hearts, with health in our bodies, and with joyful memories with the people that we love around us, because all of that is certainly invaluable. I'd like to show how we can get started on this. So this is the Tri-Synergizer that we talked about today is $127.99 a month on a monthly subscription. Most of the doctors, we have 2,000 medical professionals in our company LifeVantage. They usually typically recommend 1 month for every decade that you've been alive. Now you look at 127, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, times are tough right now, it's a little crazy. I urge you to invest the $4.17 it costs right now to invest back into your health. You're probably saving that in the gas that you're not, traveling around as much. You're probably saving that in not picking up the this or the that at the store that you may have been visiting had we not been in quarantine. Now is the time to get serious about your health, and this is such a beautiful way to give it a try and subscribe and save. However, I love sharing that if you're not only concerned about your health, but you're looking at the health of not only your whole family, this is the way to go, guys, because you can save up to 30% when you bundle and save like this. So we have kits, little starter packs that help your family get well and help you save and help you to experience the biohacking on all fronts of your health, from your skin to your hair to your pets, your weight management system, approach through gut health. So just absolutely amazing. And of course, my favorite, like I highlighted today, your Axio, which is your mama saver or your data saver. The last slide that I like to show is that if you love this message, it is only natural, and especially in today's world, where we just are constantly on social media and sharing what our loves are, our favorite restaurant is, our favorite hairdresser, where we got that cute blouse. We naturally tend, as a human race, love to share our good things that happen to us. And we are looking for motivated people that want to share with us and that want to actually, win back some of the joy, both financially as well as helping to others to achieve their health goals as well. So I'm going to escape here for a moment and stop share, and yay, I'll put it back on gallery view. But I don't know if anybody wants to share today. If anybody has a quick little testimony, we can certainly, save it for later. Or if anybody has any questions, that they might have. I know that some have come up in and around children or certain things. I'm certainly not a health professional, but I can possibly share my vantage point from some of the things that I've taken in. So, anyone? Yay. Well, if anybody doesn't have anything to share, we can definitely wrap it up. I do want to say that I want to wish Miss Sarah McDermott a very, very happy day, as it was her anniversary yesterday. And on the date of her anniversary, she found out that she leveled up one more in our company and is just being the leader that, that we all strive to be. And I just love your aloha. I love your spirit for helping people. And I love that video of you and your husband.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, you're so ridiculous.
So I love you all, and we will end the call, and I will definitely get this out. And please get back to the person that invited you to the call, and then that way we can answer any further questions. Some of those might be actually personal, but we are always here to share. And if we don't know the answer, we're always a phone call away from somebody who does know the answer. So yay. All right. Love you all. Aloha. Ahui ho.
Aloha.